Hi everybody, I am Christ, I am disciple, and we got some stuff to talk about today. Today is the day where we make that statement to Warner Brothers concerning restoring the Snyderverse. So this is going to be a good time. I am Christ, I am disciple, as you can see right there, and we're going to talk about some of the issues and some of the things concerning releasing the Snyder Cut. Um, And of course, if you want to join in and be a guest uh, on this program, feel free to do so. The link is in the chat section. I'm showing you the link right now, and you can join if you want to, or you can just keep on talking in the chat section. But we're going to talk about some things that I think are worth talking about today concerning the Snyderverse and concerning a lot of other issues and a lot of other things. So we're going to get into it. Um, So, first and foremost, today is the day where we're going to be using the hashtag restore the Snyderverse. It's about we got like 2 hours and 19 minutes before we start really pushing the hashtag. And for me, on my end, I'm going to try and push it all over social media, all the platforms that I'm involved in. So it'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Twitter, it'll also be on on YouTube. So this is my YouTube video. It's a little bit early, but we're going to start talking about this right now. And there are a little bit of caveats and some complications to the issue. So we're going to try and get to it as soon as possible. And let's try to get some clarification on all of these issues. Okay. So once again, the link is right there. It's the link right there. It's in the chat section. So if you want to join as a guest, just feel free to click that link. If not, you can chat away in the chat section. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's get into it. So first and foremost, found out that Mr. Toby Emmerich somehow has weaseled his way into being somebody who needs to greenlight things for HBO Max. So somehow, some way, he is sort of consolidating his CEO status, and somehow he has some sort of sway in HBO Max. That's not a good thing because from what we heard, he's the one that did not allow the green lighting for when the leak happened in HBO Max with the Tom and Jerry incident. It seems as though he delayed the Warner Brothers reaction to that. Okay, and there are people that are aligned with this faction of Warner Brother Pictures, which is bought over by AT&T. So the AT&T faction, pretty much most of the AT&T faction, they are aligned with they're aligned mostly with uh, the HBO Max and with streaming service. So AT&T faction, or the people of AT&T who are there. So Jason Keeler, John Stankley, Casey Bloys, and several others. They're more aligned with the AT&T side of things, and they're really looking to get HBO Max as the premier streaming service, and very competitive with Disney Plus, particularly, and so on. So they have been doing phenomenally well, and that area has been really well. So they're very interested in having the Snyder Cut. However, the Warner Brother Picture side of things, Tommy Emmerich, Walter Hamada, and Sarnoff, those people are not for the Snyder Cut. Okay, they are really trying to crush it. And we've heard some latest news and events that how they're trying to push. That's the Warner Brothers side, picture side. They're trying to push two things mainly. They're saying that if Zack Snyder's going to have Justice League 2 and 3, he's not going to have Henry Cavill as the Superman. He'll have to push a new Superman. Shout out to Juan Rivera. Juan Rivera says, "Restore the Snyderverse." Hello, Juan. How are you doing, bro? And they're talking about how he will not be able to have Ben Affleck's Batman either. So it's very funny hearing that from them, and they're trying to make certain demands. But I do believe that um, those demands are going to end up being 0 points because once AT&T and HBO Max can you know, use their sway in the process, because they are going to be the ones actually carrying out everything. They're not going to, Warner Brothers Pictures doesn't have to put a dime into it. I sincerely believe that Warner Brothers Pictures is going to have less and less say, and particularly in light of the fact of the success of the Snyder Cut. So today is very important for that. Today is a very important time for us to make a statement. Juan Rivera, nice to see you here. Remember, we're really going to make this statement across social media. We hope to make it across social media. I know it's mostly Twitter everybody's focusing on, but let's try to do this across social media. Restore the Snyderverse. Everything starting in about 2 hours and 14 minutes. We're doing the countdown. So get ready to really let it blow. Doing well, blessed brother. That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear, my brother. All right. So this is why it's so important that we as fans show our disapproval for what Ann Sarnoff, Toby Everett, and also Walter Hamada is doing. It should be a very strong statement. If you want to put as many people as possible into this stream, that's great, because I'm going to be going at this stream intermittently throughout the day. I will be here again pushing for us to restore the Snyderverse, and this hashtag, you're going to see it in a lot of my videos today, because today is that day where we want to make it, or we want to make the presence and the feet, make Warner Brothers feel how we feel about how they're managing things. Obviously, they don't have a vision for what they want to bring forward. They're just kind of throwing things on the board. Zach has a vision for what needs to be done. And so there's several different reasons why this is very important, okay? That we send a strong message to them that you're not going to do this to the fans. Obviously, if the fans get discouraged, they're not going to buy the movies. They're not going to go and watch the movies. So we have a big say in this process. A shout out to Goats. I haven't seen you in a long time, brother. How's it going, man? It's going great, man. It's going great. How's it going with you? I hope it's going well. Today is that day. Let us make our presence known. Let the Armada be seen. We are in this for the long haul, the Snyderverse. Okay? The Snyderverse. Okay, so it's very important that you get your presence known, and Restore the Snyderverse should be on every single platform. You can put out art. You can put out, I'm going to put out a song today. It's not going to necessarily be on Restore the Snyderverse, it's Us United, but I'll hashtag it Restore the Snyderverse. So we're really picking it up, and we want to take this on Twitter. We want to get past 2 million tweets of Restore the Snyderverse. Here on these platforms, let's really try to attract as many new faces as possible. If you guys can spread this information, not just me, but anybody who has the hashtag Restore the Snyderverse in their videos and stuff, start sharing it. And we're going to just go berserk. Let's have a really great time. Okay, so I want to talk about something that's not as popular, and everyone's kind of, okay, so Amber Heard. A lot of people out here are, talking about Amber Heard. I'm going to get to you, Goats, in a second. Pick a Shades, what's up? Pick a Shades is in the building. Amber Heard, a lot of people don't like her because of the court case that she had with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp being an excellent actor, okay? But excellent actors has nothing to do with what you did with respect to domestic violence. That's something we must take very seriously. And Amber Heard wasn't just throwing charges. That thing stuck in a court of law, okay? So I think you guys need to lay off of Amber Heard concerning the Johnny Depp issue and find out more about those issues. Just find out more about the issue between those two, okay? With respect to Johnny Depp, I wish him the best in his career, and Amber Heard the same thing. But I think you guys need to lay off of Amber Heard, okay? Anyway, back to what I was going to say here. Glute says, I saw the Snyder Cut and I'm in love with it. The Snyderverse needs to be restored. Restore the Snyderverse. One guy went as far as to say it's as good as um, um, Marvel's Avengers Endgame. In fact, he said if he had to pick between Endgame, and this is a Marvel fan, between Avengers Endgame and Zack Snyder's Justice League, he would pick Zack Snyder's Justice League. There was an article put out on Screen Rant talking about how Batman was able to bring the Justice League together, whereas Iron Man couldn't do it. And that's all of these are very interesting points that this movie's just done some incredible things, not to mention Darkseid being in there, and just this being an issue which Warner Brothers brought up as an issue why they couldn't continue the New Gods. But we all know Ava DuVernay, really the New God story would have been built off of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, remember Justice League came out because of Joss Whedon, and they cut out Darkseid. And I don't know why Warner Brothers would do stupid things like that, because again, no matter if you think that Zack Snyder's Justice League would be a cul-de-sac, no matter if you thought that Darkseid shouldn't be in the movie, okay, because there's going to be a New Gods movie or whatever the hell they were thinking, okay, you need to have continuity. You know what I'm saying? You need to have continuity. Once again, I'm just going to put this up here. You can join as a guest and make your voice known on this stream. We're inviting people to come on. So there's an open invitation in the chats area. Pick a shade saying, biking outside, home soon, listening on your headphones. All right, man. Good. You're getting some exercise. Yeah, so there is no way, no matter what Warner Brothers says, okay, there's no way that Zack Snyder was doing harm to Ava DuVernay's movie by showing Darkseid, by showing Apocalypse. Yes, James Wan also wanted Zack Snyder to not necessarily show, he wanted to be the one to reveal Atlantis. And Zack Snyder didn't really particularly show Atlantis, right? He showed where the mother box was being protected, etc. But at the end of the day, okay, it's not going to take away from your world. He brought excitement to the idea that Darkseid could possibly be there. I want to know more about Darkseid. I'm sure you want to know more about Darkseid. I'm sure you guys want to know more about the New Gods, Highfather, Orion, Darkseid, Granny Goodness, Desaad, Steppenwolf, right? And all the minions inside of there. Ain't nobody right now disinterested in that. Everybody's now more ever interested in it. But they abandoned the project because, in spite that the Zack Snyder's Justice League is a cul-de-sac, right? So we need to make a statement today. We need to make that statement and let them know we do not approve of what they're doing. We do not approve of them cutting directors and cutting movie projects out of the way. We do not agree with that. The continuity is actually with Ava DuVernay's New Gods. Now we need to see Ava DuVernay's New Gods because it literally is something that people want to see now. It literally fits into the continuity now. Ain't nobody want to see. Okay, people actually want to see the Flash movie too, even though I don't know what the hell they're doing with the Flash movie. Okay. But and they don't even have Cyborg in there. And Cyborg was like a big feature in the Snyder Cut. Again, if it's a cul-de-sac, fine. Do whatever the hell you want to do. But at the end of the day, don't expect us to just be on board for it. So today is hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Of course, the first thing we want to get is David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So that's what's up. And we call the shots here. They're going to learn that really quickly. We call the shots. We're reasonable people. We're calling the shots right now. All right. A lot of people always wanted a pure Superman movie with Henry Cavill. Couldn't get that. Now they're talking about removing Henry Cavill and replacing him with some black Superman. Okay. We don't want that. They're hell-bent on trying to recon the DC EU and then turn it around and make it into some marvelous thing. They're hell-bent on doing that. Ricochet says, okay, home now. I'll turn on the laptop and see if I can join it. Sure, no problem. So we are not on board with that. You can do whatever you want to do, but you're not retconning the Snyderverse. What I mean by that is you're not getting rid of that universe. It's not happening. All right. And it's stupid. Like the amount of stupid decisions a certain section of executives are doing and the people who are egging them on is just ridiculous. And we as fans need to put a statement down, a strong one, letting them know we put support into the Snyderverse. We're not business with closing down any other universes or whatever. Let the execs fall on their own sword. But when it comes to the Snyderverse, don't you dare touch the Snyderverse. We need to make that strong statement today. So, guys, share this message with everybody else out there. Shout out to Pick of Shades. If you haven't seen Pick of Shades channel, go check it out. He has a lot of unbiased reviews with BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Wonder Woman 84. He also has some of the CW movies, like CW shows, like Supergirl and Batgirl, and also Superman and Lewis. So go check out his channel. And if you guys have any content on here that you want to share, please feel free to share it, okay? And remember, you can hop on here as a guest. I can hold as much as 3 people. Just be respectful, mute your mic when you're not speaking. That's it. And we can roll, man. We can roll like Jello. All right, I want to talk about another thing as we're talking about this. Zack Snyder put out alternate version from the Justice Gray and also the Zack Snyder Justice League colored version. He had an alternate ending with Jared Leto and Ben Affleck. By now, you guys have seen it with Batman and Joker. What an alternate. It's fantabulous. I like both. But just to know we have so many variations of ending. And then, of course, we have more footage of the movie that has also been done. And I'm so with leg in heaven right now with material, right? And what I'm going to do in this segment also is ask you guys a couple questions concerning also what happened in the film. One of the questions that Pick of Shades asked was, and you guys can address it. Pick of Shades had this question to ask. He said, he wanted to know what was the timestamp or what was the difference in time between when Superman died and the events that were occurring in Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, that's what Pick of Shades asked. Superman. Anybody want to answer that question first of all? What was the duration of time? So when Superman died to, let's say, when Silas Stone died, how much time had elapsed? Remember, this is sort of like a period movie because the movie was supposed to come out in 2017. So the question would be, anybody want to answer that question? Because I did some intel and I found out some answers to it. And unfortunately, I can't do screen share, but anybody knows? All right. So the question once again, I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see it, is what is the time between Superman's death and his resurrection, or when Silas Stone died? Picture says, Juan Rivera, shout out to Juan Rivera. He says he believes it's about 2 years that passed. Okay, so let me give you where you can find this information. First thing you need to look for is the newspaper article on Superman's passing in Batman v Superman. If you go back to Batman v Superman, there'd be a newspaper article, and you can go look it up. Google it. You can Google it right now and see that newspaper article. And Lewis Lane was the one that was penning the article for the Daily Planet, and you can look at the timestamp on it, the time when that happened. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, when Superman was resurrected, you can go actually and look, because the same day Superman was resurrected is the same day Silas Stone died. Isn't that interesting? So Silas Stone died the same day that Superman was born. And here's another interesting point. Eleanor Stone, which is Victor Stone's mother, or Cyborg's mother, she died the same day that Victor Stone was reborn as Cyborg. Isn't that interesting? So those little tidbits should be able to get you there. So that's the clues and hints I'm gonna leave. And as was a question that Picashay's asked, and he wanted to know the timestamps, between, when Lewis Lane is going back to the thing. There's a certain duration of time in which this whole thing happened. And I can actually tell you the actual season in which Superman was resurrected and Silas Stone died, and the actual season in which Superman died. And the hints are there in BBS. I mean, you could just look at the time of year when Superman died, and that would tell you everything you need to know. And then when he was resurrected, you can see again the time of year when he was resurrected. So if you kind of use deductive reasoning, you could figure it out. You may not get it to the month, but you would be able to get at least the duration, even though in the newspaper article, it actually tells you the month. So think about what I just said. And that would pretty much give you the hints and clues as to when Superman lived. Again, we're pushing hashtag restore the Snyderverse. That hashtag is going to be booming through all over the place. So what we're talking about and what we're about today, all right, is letting HBO Max, AT&T know that we, the fans, disapprove of what Toby Emmerich and Sarnoff and Walter Hamada are trying to do. We are not in alignment with that, which is they're trying to remove the Snyderverse because they say that Zack Snyder's Justice League is a cul-de-sac. There are 2 more parts to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And there are 2 more parts to Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we want to see that, as well as there are more movies in the Snyderverse that we want to see. So we need to make our demands met, or we need to let them know that we are here to continuously bombard Warner Brothers Pictures, as well as our allies, HBO Max and AT&T. We are here to let them know that they need to restore the Snyderverse and put it on HBO Max and AT&T. And the reason why HBO Max and AT&T, because less resistance for Zack Snyder, less problems for him. He'll be working with Casey Bloys. He'll be working with Jason Keeler and all the other staff and budget committee of HBO Max. Okay, HBO Max had an undertaking where they did Game of Thrones, which was, they poured money into that, and it was very successful. And so therefore we want to see the same when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League. I want to have you guys' opinion on that. So Juan Rivera, he had said 2 years had passed. Do you think it's 2 years, guys? Let me hear somebody else's opinion on this. So Jason Keeler, Casey Bloys, John Stankley of AT&T, the CEO of AT&T. These are the people we're appealing to. But we're also sending a message directly to Ann Sarnoff, to Toby Emmerich, and to Walter Hamada, not to mess with Zack Snyder, not to mess with his vision. And the only way to do that is to actually restore the Snyderverse on HBO Max and AT&T. And we have to push it very hard and say, hey, don't tamper with the characters. If Zack Snyder wants to bring whoever he wants to bring back into that, have nothing to do with Tommy Emmerich needs to take his grimy hands and keep them off of there and not dictate what Zack Snyder would do in his Elseworld. Okay, let me just move this forward so I can charge up my phone. You know, because it's disgusting. They went and tampered with Zack Snyder's vision. He had a Green Lantern in there, and they're talking about how there's some Green Lantern corpse that's coming up on HBO Max. So therefore, he had to withdraw his Green Lantern when Zack Snyder did not take any kind of money to do this movie because he wanted the freedom to do what he wanted with respect to creative freedom. And then they're coming and trying to tell him what he can and cannot do, which is why he put Darkseid back in the movie and so on, right? Where it's supposed to have been. Okay. So back to the question that I asked. And the question was, what was the time that elapsed between Superman's death and his resurrection? So I'm going to tell you guys the amount of time that elapsed, okay? And the reason I'm going to tell you is because actually, Superman died in the fall of 2016. That's when he died. Okay, and you guys could go check it out. It's the exact date was October the 16th of 2016. All right, that's when he died. Now, I can tell you this because I checked it out myself, and you can go check BVS and the newspaper clippings. You can't see it on the newspaper. We may have to get an excerpt of the Daily Planet still of it. And you will see Lois Lane's article, and you see October 16, 2016, or October, I think, 2016. That's what I know. That was in the fall. So Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, when Superman was resurrected, you only have to look at the gravestone of Silas Stone, and you will see that his grave, he died in 2017. Remember, this movie was supposed to come out in 2017. Now, what time of the year was that? That's easy to check out as well. Because if you look at, well, I mean, there's so much to BVS, but the beginning of BVS starts with fall, with the leaves falling down. And the end of BVS, where we're looking at Superman's funeral in Smallville, you look at the grains of corn, and they're all golden or brown, which means that it's fall. And you can look at the trees and see it's fall. So the movie begins in the fall and it ends in the fall. Picture says Lucy's party where Bruce got invited was on November 1st, according to Bruce's invitation. Yeah, that's 2015. That's not 2016. Yeah. Remember, BVS happened 18. BVS, the literal Batman, starting with the kryptonite thing and all of that, when kryptonite was discovered after the Metropolis incident, happened 18 months after the Black Zero event, which happened in 2013. So 18 months away from that would carry you somewhere into 2015. And so the end of 2015, you know, it links up because it's about a year and a half. So if you go from 2013 and the Black Zero event that happened in 2013 happened in mid 2013, right? Because think about it. All right. Superman was somewhere in some snowy Alps or whatever. It was snow. You remember Lois Lane went up to Canada or whatever. So it was like the winter of 2012 probably when Lois Lane discovered Clark Kent. And then after that, the events that transpired, you saw him walking through the grains. You saw the corn that was in the background of the Kent farm. And that looked like it was spring or summer when he returned home to his mom. And then if you look towards the end of the movie when he's fighting General Zod and all of that stuff, it looks like it's like the summer going close to the fall of 2013. So if you're talking 2013, 6 months in, and you go 1.5 years later, that's 2015. It's almost like 2 year gap. Hey, no problem, man. You take your time. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So Superman, he died in the fall of 2016. His whole episode with Batman and all the events that transpired happened between 2015, and Victor Stone actually died in 2015 as well with his mom, and he became Cyborg in 2015. Okay, so he was like a death and birth all in the same day. He didn't completely die, but it's a totally different story. So yeah, but so in 2000, and shout out to Damian Anton Vincent. What's up, my brother? I'm good. And you? How are you doing? Hope that everything's okay, brother. Today is the day. Today's the day, and we're talking about in about under 2 hours now. Under 2 hours, we're going to start this campaign in full and in earnest. Hashtag, restore the Snyderverse. And we're doing this towards HBO Max and AT&T. We're speaking to them, but we're also speaking to Ann Sarnoff and to Tommy Emmerich and Walter Hamada. We need to send a strong message to these people that we do not approve of what they're doing. It's good to hear, brother. Good to hear. Good to hear that you're good. I always keep you in prayers. As soon as I can, I'm gonna be stepping it up, and I'm a road to support you where I can. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean. So yeah, people, man, shout out to in the guest area, entering in the guest area. Remember, guys, you can join the guest area. Don't forget to mute your mic as you're entering. The one, the only, Picker Shades in the building.
Yeah, took a long way, but I'm here. Fresh out of shower. This is a fast road.
Sir. Good to see
you. Yeah, what's
going on with you, brother? Well, we were talking about the timeline because you actually raised a very important point in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the timeline for after Superman's death, how long after his death these events were occurring. We were just talking about that, and hashtag Damian Anton Vincent says restore the Snyderverse. So I asked the question, what is the time between Superman's death and his resurrection? And so we were just kind of going through the details of that because I know you would be interested in also going through that. And basically, Superman died in the fall of 2016. The fall of 2016. I'm very sure about that. I have my sources. I just can't share my sources on here. But it's you can Google it. Just Google Daily Planet. Report Superman's death, Batman v Superman. You probably find it. And then he was resurrected in 2017. Silas Stone died the same day that Superman was resurrected. Isn't that interesting? He died the same day.
Or not actually, he didn't die the same day. He was already Cyborg when Superman died.
No, they died the same day. Silas Stone, not Victor.
Okay,
Silas.
Okay, Silas died when Superman came back, yeah. And we saw Victor already as Cyborg when Clark was.
Yeah, when he's when he's making the death call. Yeah, but Silas Stone, I'm talking about, he died the same day, and trying to and it's interesting. The mother box was involved in both instances. He died the same day, but he was trying to superheat the mother box, right? He was going to. You see, he was about to leave and go to the side to heat up the mother box, and then Steppenwolf came in, and he was like, "Oh shit!" and he had to go back.
Yeah, I said it in my review that I think Silas could have survived from the fact if Steppenwolf had not come there as fast as he did. So he could have put the box into the cube, taken the remote,
Yeah.
got out,
Seal it off.
and made it go. But Steppenwolf came when he was about to exit the cube, and he was forced to shut himself in there.
Yeah. So so he died. So when you look at his tombstone, and at the end and the epilogue, Father Twice Over, you will see Silas Stone's tombstone says, he lived from, I think it was 1930 something or 1940 something to 2017. Remember, even though the movie came out in 2021, the
Yeah,
events
it was
and this
supposed
movie
to set
really
in
was
the
meant,
2017.
right.
Yeah.
It was really meant for
Yeah. The
2017.
Lois
So
part, there however is the Lois pregnancy part when she had a pregnancy test, and some people have, or some people have tried to rationalize that the bathtub scene in BVS should have been the conceiving part where Clark and Lois should have
in the
conceived. Yeah,
tub scene,
that was some theory that was said in the
possible.
Twitter. But
It means
if the lake between the movies is that long and Lois does not have a visible baby bump on her, then it's
no, but check this out. Check this out. That would have happened somewhere in 2016.
mm,
It didn't happen in 2015. So if we think about it, it's 2017 and it's summer because when Victor Stone died, it was the summer of 2017. We know this again just by looking at the trees and the life around the place, and you can see it's summer.
mm,
It's not winter. And how you remember when Superman was walking through the Kent farm with the grain, the corn that he was feeling? It was green.
yeah.
So if it's green, that means it can't be fall. It could be spring or it could be summer.
Mm.
And this is just before Superman flies off to fight Steppenwolf, and they only have a couple hours. It was like I think they had like 8 hours when they left with the troop carrier, so it was less than 8 hours. Yeah. So all of that tells us that it's somewhere around the summer that Silas Stone died, or spring or summer, because the corn is green. So these are little hints. So we know Superman died somewhere in the fall of 2016. And if it's summer or it's spring, you're talking about a 6-month window between his death and his resurrection, right? This movie happens somewhere in 6 months. And so that means Lois Lane, she could be pregnant. Now, here's the thing. Remember, Zack Snyder was pushing for Bruce Wayne, that baby to be Bruce Wayne's baby at a certain point in time, right? In his old cup.
Okay,
In his
somewhere in
old cup.
spring. Somewhere in spring.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
that was, as you
November,
said,
December,
in
January,
sometime
February,
in the,
March.
I still think that the party Luthor hosted was in November, and whatever else happened, it was in October.
That's the
So
November of 2015. That's a totally different time. That's not 2016. Remember, you're looking at the timestamps. That would be November 2015. Think about it. Like I said before, 18 months after the Black Zero event means that we're talking about the Black Zero event happened in what did I say? Summer. It happened in the summer. So you're talking about 2013, June of 2013. That's 6 months now. So 18 months is a year and a half. That carries us from June 2013 to January, February of 2016. So that, or November, sorry, what's the nonsense I'm saying? Or 2015, sorry, from 2013 to 2015, sorry, my bad. January, February of 2015. So by the time this invite came to Bruce from Lex Luthor, it was November of 2015. So all of the other events that transpired from there on in was concerning Superman. Superman died like a year, a little less than a year later from Doomsday. So all of the other things that happened within a year. You understand? And then from there, Superman dying, all of the other events that you hear about transfer within that 6, 7, 8 months, whatever.
That
So
makes
people saying Louis Lane might have been pregnant. She should have a belly or something. Um, then again, she was wearing what she was wearing. She wasn't wearing tight clothing. You ever notice that? She was always wearing these coats, and so you can never know.
well, yeah, and her mood might have been swinging, if that's
But the thing that you're saying is, it's interesting that Bruce observes that Clark and Lewis is having a baby, and I just suspect that Zach was really trying to head in the direction of Bruce when Lewis was in the morning or whatever. Bruce somehow linked up with Lewis, but
yeah,
apparently that may not be the case. But it
yeah,
looks like, because how could you be pregnant but you're not really necessarily showing? But it also makes sense that Lewis didn't go back to work because she was pregnant.
yes, that is
That's another thing I just thought about. I was like, hey,
yeah,
wait a minute. Lewis didn't go back to work since Superman's death, but there may be multiple reasons for that. You know?
yeah,
Yeah, I
maternity
mean,
leave.
Zach is a sneaky guy, and he sneaks in all these little things.
Yeah, but there's also
Yeah,
the
but yep. Shout out again to those people in the chat area. You guys can join also into this discussion. You can join right here. Um, but yeah, Superman. It wasn't even a year since he died. It wasn't quite a year since he died. So those events were pretty fresh, which just makes sense, because that's why Lewis was probably still in grieving, and she's still trying to recover and all of that. It makes sense, but it's really tough on Martha Kent particularly. And Martha Kent we only see Martha Kent when Superman's resurrected and Lewis calls her to see him. That's the only time we actually see Martha Kent. The other Martha Kent incident is Martian Manhunter.
yeah, that's gonna
So
be an
it's not
interesting
Martha.
conversation they're gonna have when Lois thanks Martha about
Yeah.
telling her
It's
what
like,
she did,
you
and then
know,
I never said that.
yeah, she's like, I thank you so very much for your encouragement, encouraging me to go back to work and just live my life. And Martha will be like, um, did I say that?
Uh,
you know, I really enjoyed the Martian Manhunter thing, but we kind of knew that from what Zach was posting on Vero. We just
yeah,
didn't know exactly how it would pan out, and it was great though. It was great. It was great.
yeah,
Once again, this event is about, and by the way, your review was spot on, man. Spot on review. I enjoyed the review a lot of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and even BVS. The BVS reviews were really great. You brought up some stuff that I didn't even consider,
yeah,
in the reviews. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Took for myself also watching the Zack's version to realize that in a Bruce and Barry scene, the batarang was thrown right next to Barry's left ear, and he dodged to the right.
yeah, yeah.
Even without Speed Force, it would have just and
It might
he
have
wouldn't
nicked
have
him, but it wouldn't have
wouldn't have
hurt him.
he
But
would
then
have
again,
he would have just felt the wind as it went past.
but
Nothing else.
Batman tends to throw batarangs at people's shoulders. If you look in BVS,
Yeah,
because one guy was saying how Batman stuck a guy
yeah,
in his chest with the batarang, that was not true. He hit the guy in his shoulder. He always goes for the shoulder with his batarangs.
yeah.
And
That's
I've never seen
yeah,
I've never
yeah,
seen Batman straight out kill anybody. Never.
but it was the knife that Batman was stabbed first, and he returned the knife to the sender.
Right. But he also threw a batarang at a guy before he kicked the guy that hit the other guy with the grenade that was about to he popped the grenade on him. And Batman, first of all, he turned around and hit the guy with the gun. A guy picked up a gun to shoot him, and
Yeah,
he bataranged him. And then he turned around and kicked the other guy that was hanging.
yeah,
And he hit the guy with the
yeah,
grenade.
yeah. Those were the only two of the four confirmed casualties.
No, he did a lot of casualties.
Only
Let's be
four.
real. By
Only
proxy,
four.
Batman was killing a lot of people, right?
Yeah, but only four
I don't
died in
know
the
if he killed.
warehouse. Only
I
four.
don't know if he killed the guy who got hit with the crate. Guy hit the
Yeah,
crate
yeah.
and he
That was just
slammed.
critical condition.
I don't know if he
I
died.
checked from
He got a busted head.
yeah.
I
As
don't know
you
if he
saw in
died.
you saw my video I checked with YouTuber who also practices medicine who went through the scene. He
Yeah,
has
but I'd
actually
say he,
gone quite a lot, quite many fighting scenes and analyzed them with his medical knowledge. And that guy said that he would only get some critical condition, not die,
nah.
just go.
He could die. He could die of injuries if
Yeah,
his
could
brain
die
exploded.
eventually if he doesn't get immersion, any if he
Yeah,
don't get into
yeah,
the ICU as fast. And
yeah.
probably there were
But
some
that,
people that they when Martha went
yeah, well,
outside, there
a
were
lot of
police
people,
and ambulances.
yeah, a lot of people died. Okay, nobody's saying no, right? It wasn't like Batman was trying to be like, oh man, I need to preserve every single life here. Hell no.
No,
This was like a,
even
this
Adam
was
West
like a
had
real,
this. Even there was, I remember in the 1966 Batman show, Adam West's Batman, he said that always prioritize on the innocent lives, and like it was in
right.
a situation where there was someone innocent who was unconscious on the ground and he was chasing someone, and he told Robin that always prioritize in these people, and they had not those
Yeah,
other.
but nobody's innocent in combat.
That also works in this situation, that the hostage's life is above the perpetrators.
Right. Very much. Absolutely. 100%. You know, and the thing about it is these guys are looking to kill him. It's not like they're trying not to kill him. They're trying to kill him. So
Yeah.
he was defending himself and also going
Yeah,
for what he
defending
needed to
himself
go.
after breaking in there. That's one thing.
Oh, but
But
they
the
have
innocent
something
life
that's
was
his.
but the innocent life was above everything else.
No, well, first of all, they were ready for him. They were waiting for him. They just didn't know where he was going to come from, right?
Mm.
And you remember, they were the first ones to fire at him when he came down to the docks with the bat plane. They fired on him first. He didn't fire on them, even
Yeah,
when
and
he was doing the
and not to mention the thing that they were here, and he was coming here, and he shot. They had like 5 or 6 seconds to get out the line of fire. In a fight or flight situation, it's get out of the way if you can.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, again, I can't say that he did anything wrong. Even in the Batmobile chase, I didn't see him do anything particularly wrong, right?
There was that
Very
one
extremely,
Schrodinger's cat I
extremely
brought up.
brutal.
Yeah, there was that one Schrodinger's
Yeah,
cat when he started to shoot that first car. The first two were okay because we saw them later in the film. But then there was that
right.
car he started shooting at, and that guy, the shooter and the driver, they just vanished. And then there was those guys who didn't who the driver just they couldn't watch the road. He just and into a truck.
Right.
And then when Batmobile came from the above and scratched the Knises
And knocked the guy out the truck.
yeah, one guy fell off. That also counts as casualty.
Yeah, it's a nobody's saying there wasn't casualties, but to say that Batman was straight up murdering people or he was doing manslaughter, I disagree.
I also brought up in my review about the Grim Knight. The Grim Knight is a version of Batman who started out with guns, and
Right.
and the fact that Ben Affleck's version is still relied on his fists first and foremost before starting to shoot batarangs and trying to adapt the situations and not take guns as his first choice of weapon,
Right.
then that still
Exactly.
makes him better.
In fact, he hardly uses guns actually in BVS. The only gun he was using was a kryptonite gun, a special gun, but he doesn't carry guns. The nightmare scene, obviously he has to carry guns. I mean, come on, you're dealing with parademons. And you could see now why this Batman works for BVS. It needed to be a Batman like that to handle parademons, to handle superpowered beings when it came to Justice League. He had to step it up. Because you saw the big parademon fight where, man, that Batmobile was getting on. I mean, he just was, man, he was like, it was sick. I enjoyed that sequence with the Batmobile. It was so epic. When he spun the Batmobile around. It reminded me of, you remember the Dark Knight where Batman's driving this little motorcycle thing? So sick. Or was it the Dark Knight? Was it the Dark Knight Rises? I can't remember. With that sick little bicycle thing.
Yeah, he had in the Nolan trilogy. Yeah, he had but the Batmobile was destroyed. It respawned as the two front wheels that then they respond into a bike. Batpod, it
I
was called the
love it.
Batpod.
Yeah. You get that feeling with the Batmobile when he was going. You could hear the wheels chipping on the ground, and oh man, I tell you, man, Zach's sick. Zach is sick. But yeah,
Yeah.
going back to what we were saying. So Superman. That's how long it was. Lewis Lane. We had Batman, and like you said, um, Batman. Essentially, even if he takes lives or it's under his banner, it's not. If it's an innocent life, he has a big issue with that.
Yeah.
But you don't really see Batman have love for criminals, particularly. He has a heart for some criminals.
There is
Some of
actually in
them,
the.
he
Hey,
maybe
hold on. I'm pulling something up. There was something I read, and I have something. You can keep talking, and I'll just see if I can pull this thing here.
sure. So let me just go through some of the points of why we are here pushing release the Snyder Cut. First one is because HBO Max, the Snyder Cut, it was an extreme success to HBO Max. Extremely successful. All right. And Jason Keeler, Casey Bloys, and John Stankley are ecstatic about this, but because Toby Emmerich, it seems as though they have a gag order on them. Toby Emmerich and Company Limited, Toby Emmerich oversees HBO Max. Somehow he got it under his purview. They sort of got a gag order on them, so they're not really saying much about it. But this is it's really incredible that this movie. What week are we in since the movie debuted? Let's see. The movie debuted the 18th. Today is
The 4th.
it debuted March 18th, right? Today's April the 4th. So
Okay,
it's
here
like
is
what?
Here's this one
12,
thing about
16 days. 16 days since it debuted, and it's still going strong. And HBO Max also removed trending from their database, so we can't see what is the trending movie. What's the movie that's really doing something out there right now? And it's probably going to be Godzilla versus Kong versus Batman. I'm sorry, versus Zack Snyder's Justice League. And the other cool thing is, still on Google Play to this day. I can go on Google Play right now. It's the number one selling movie right now on Google Play. It was Tenet. Number 2 position was Batman v Superman for a minute, and then Tenet, and so on. But right now, it's still, and I hope somebody can give me metrics for Apple TV. If you got Apple TV, let me know what is the trending stuff for Apple TV. Hold on a second. I'm going to be right back. Go ahead, take it away with the comics and Batman. Explaining to people that I'm listening for a second.
Okay. So this is my copy of Batman by Neil Adams. It has some and it's first. In its foreword by Neil Adams, he talks about Batman kind of like something like this. I had to learn to know Bruce Wayne, Batman. Who was he? Well, first of all, he was a 190 centimeter man who moves his body like Bruce Lee or gymnastics. This is a gift he was given from the heaven, as well as his clever mind. When he was a child, sharp, intuitive child, he saw his parents die to a pistol shot in front of his eyes. His reaction was understandable: horror, shock, grief, loneliness, and heartbreaking disarray. But all of this was hidden under this monstrous determination. Still, long-aged and pure flame burning decision to fight against imposters of evil and unjustified and those of unjust. Too simple and too childish and too simple. That is how you could think it, but and maybe it is. But our history and our world's heroes are formed are not. But the heroes of our history and our world are molded from the same material and they never listen to cynics and arguing or those who claim to be above such school of thought.
Nice,
In the
nice.
in the next part, Neil Adams says that in his early age, Bruce moved from decisions to actions. He trained his body without tiring, as well as his mind. He became a detective and a detective worthy of Sherlock Holmes. He changed his mental talents and determination. Hindsight, it's whatever it is. I'm trying to translate this from Finnish to English. At the same time, he trained his body to the perfect stage where only few can get. He became a physical wonder that even the Spartans would envy. And if Bruce would take part in the Olympics, he would get to the medal stages in every start. Okay, and here's the part that I was getting to. Then he hid all of this criminal fighting weapon under the disguise of a rich, playful but a good-hearted playboy mask. He hunts like a panther in the darkness, cutting out criminals quietly and without hesitation. He does not think about the righteousness of his actions. That question was answered to him when he was a child. This is something
Wow,
Neil Adams said in his foreword in this book back in 2003.
wow, that's crazy, man. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's probably in English somewhere better. I was trying. This is the Finnish copy, so it's it's probably better to understand there. And something I have actually
Straight out of the comics.
yeah. But I do need to disclaim that while Neil Adams is a great artist, coming look at this cover. While Neil Adams is a great artist, he is not actually a very good storyteller because, as you have probably seen the Neil Adams current stories like Batman Odyssey or his current versus Ra's al Ghul story, that he would need a good writer with him, and in that he had Denny O'Neil. Actually, most of these stories that are in here written, drawn by Adams, they pretty much say story cover Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, story by Denny O'Neil, Frank Robbins, Denny O'Neil. Most of this is basically those two were a great team. When it comes to the comics in the 70s. Denny O'Neil told the stories and Neil Adams drew. And in other times, I don't know how to compare them today. Okay, that was it.
Well, man,
We can
I,
continue
I,
where
I,
you.
I really truly enjoy the fact that you showed from there. So that's Neil Adams is the one that did the narration that you just heard, the story.
Yeah, he did the foreword of the book and all the art, but he never wrote anything. He just drew what everyone else did.
Okay, okay, cool, man. So there you go. So when it comes to Batman, Batman isn't as concerned about criminals as we say their well-being and criminal rights and all of that kind of crazy stuff. Batman don't care about that. You break you
Yeah,
harming other people and you breaking the law, he's coming for you.
yeah, but there is also the thing in Batman Year One, in which Frank Miller had one of his first actions as Batman be stop people from stealing televisions from apartments, and they were fighting. He confronted them in a fire escape, and one guy who got so spooked leaned back and went over the railing, and what Bruce's first reaction was that he went over to grab the falling guy's leg and tried to pull him up while the other people the robbers tried to kick and hit him. That he does have some other that he and actually it was young and naive version of him, and he later even the character says that he is a lucky amateur at that stage.
I hear that. I got something extra to talk to people about because this is something that I don't really appreciate about Warner Brother Pictures and also even the focus of HBO Max and AT&T, and that is, you know, as much as Batman has been their most successful property, we've been seeing and hearing a lot of Batman, and the DC universe is a lot more than just Batman. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so Warner Brother Pictures and I think it is. I'm sorry, not Warner Brother Pictures. HBO Max and AT&T, they have expressed their desire to retain Ben Affleck as a Batman and have his Batman series on HBO Max, and that's cool. But I would like them to greenlight things like Cyborg, a Cyborg movie. You know, something that doesn't necessarily have Batman in it. The New Gods would have been great because the New Gods would have had would not be dealing with anything that has to do with anything. It'd just be a whole new universe and how that fits into the scheme. Because you know, Highfather and New Genesis is much more powerful than Apocalypse, right? New Genesis
They're,
don't play.
nah, they're all they're supposed to be in a stalemate between Apocalypse and New Genesis. The only thing that could tip the scales to Apocalypse's favor in going against the New Genesis would be if Darkseid would get his hands on the anti-life equation. That's basically how I should try to find and read the Fourth World and other things, but most of the main gist of it is that there is a power struggle between them, and the peace is held mostly because Darkseid and Highfather exchanged sons. Darkseid got scot free, and aka Mr. Miracle, and New Genesis was given Orion, and that is why how they have been at peace at some point. But there is also some Darkseid. It has also been looking for any excuses, basically when Scott Free grew up and married Big Barda and then started to rebel against Darkseid, Darkseid took this as an act of war from a New Genesis, and he has been trying to find a way to tip the scales for the Apocalypse's favor, and the ultimate weapon that would give him the power to go up against New Genesis, it would be the anti-life equation. That is basically the main gist of how and why Darkseid is looking for the anti-life. You are mute.
You guys think that New Gods is necessary and we should have a New Gods story? Don't you think it's long overdue? In the chat, or you, Pick a Shades.
Well, to at least establish this thing, that the thing that I just said, that in that way it would be necessary. One of the reviews about Snyder Cut that came out was from the Young Ripper 92, was from Eric July, who before going through the movie, he gave a large history lesson about the comics and about from both the Justice League side and from the New God side, and
right,
and that included the Darkseid's history with the New Genesis, about Orion and Scott Free, and how and why he was looking for the anti-life equation for the movie. So a movie would be necessary to tell that story.
Right.
And if Darkseid takes over Earth, then also how and why the New Genesis is not over for it.
Right. But of course, we've seen that Highfather and Orion, they were able to like utterly destroy Steppenwolf in the animated version, and send Steppenwolf and his forces hurling into Apocalypse. When Darkseid tried to you've seen it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Which animation?
I forgot the
Superman animated series. Are you talking about that?
Or I think it could be. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was a series. I think it was. Yeah. It's Superman animated. It could be. Yes, it could have been that. Yeah. Because of course, Darkseid, and then we have never seen Brainiac. Never seen Brainiac on live movies or live action. I think we've seen it.
in Krypton.
Yes, we've seen Brainiac on Krypton, right? Correct.
Mm.
But we haven't seen Brainiac in live action ever besides that. And so I
Yeah,
would
except
love to
yeah,
see that.
except there is also the kind of thing that in the animated series and on later comics that Brainiac has had been pretty much downplayed. That he is a collector of worlds. That's one thing that they kept. But he was not shown at a wide scale threat. And Brainiac on himself or itself would be almost as big threat as Darkseid
Yeah.
because it comes to
And the
the
cool thing about it would be that Brainiac's, technology and that stuff, Brainiac invades that very easily. And so Cyborg would play a big role in that. And then Cyborg has other cybernetic villains that we could talk about when it comes to Cyborg, especially when you look at I think it was the 2016 to 2015, 2016 run was really good. And so I really want to see these kinds of characters. I want to see Cyborg on the screen. I want to see. We've had Wonder Woman, thank God. We have not gotten a Flash movie, and I don't know what Warner Bros. Is doing with that. Want the New Gods movie? That to me, that's the thing. That's the next thing. After the Air cut, we want to have a New Gods movie because we know that Justice League 2 is going to be dealing heavily with Darkseid.
hmm.
And where does Darkseid fit into the New God pantheon? We got a little something with Zeus and a little backstory on Zeus and they in Wonder Woman. We haven't even explored the old gods thoroughly. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I mean, it's one of those things. And how did the old? Well, we knew that Ares kind of wiped out most of the old gods, but still, it'd be nice to kind of know the backstory of these things. And I just don't understand why Warner Brothers is just like kicking themselves in the head continuously. I just don't get it. I'm talking about the one about the picture side. They just are clueless. They're so clueless on what should be done. Yeah. So let's just I just rehash again because we are within almost within an hour of starting this campaign. Hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. Of course, the first thing we want to really do is look at David Ayer's Suicide Squad. That's the first thing that we want to see restored. Now, me personally, I enjoyed David Ayer's Suicide Squad when it came to the theaters, the theatrical cut. Had a lot of plot. It didn't really have a lot of plot holes because it didn't really have much of a plot, and it didn't really have much of a.
Yeah, it was
It
some
didn't have
kind
much
of
of a
some.
story. It had a paper
Yeah,
thin
I remember
storyline.
going. Yeah, I remember going to see it twice when it came out, and it was.
That's all
I don't
right.
want the thing about the Suicide Squad was that it was missing most of its beginning. Even David Ayer has gone on the record in Twitter that he said that almost the entire beginning of the film was edited to be Guardians of the Galaxy one, Galaxy parody, and the story told that the middle of the story was pretty much the same, and then the beginning and the end, that's what was got the most meddling
It
done
was
by it.
kind of weird. It was kind of weird because it was like the CGI monsters and the ending was kind of really wacky. To be honest with you,
Mm.
um, the build up to the story was interesting at first, but I would love to see his cut of it because we know Joker played a big role in the story, and we knew Steppenwolf was supposed to be in the story. This would make sense why uh, Enchantress would behave the way she behaved because Steppenwolf
Yeah,
was actually
maybe somewhat that Steppenwolf would have been in the Incubus's place, or that it would have
right,
been
right.
that Steppenwolf would have been posing as Incubus, or just appeared before Enchantress, and she saw Steppenwolf as her brother Incubus, something like that.
Something I don't think Incubus even existed, and I think
Mm.
all those eyelets, the eyes of the people, I think that was really parademons that Steppenwolf that would be converted. So we would have seen in Suicide Squad probably the conversion of people to parademons, which by the way was supposed to also happen in Justice League, and Warner Bros. Made Zack Snyder cut that out. So it's
Mm.
just like all of this stuff. We want to see people convert to parademons. That's what makes it
Mm.
scary. That's what makes the threat in a movie. I just I don't understand these people. But
Mm.
anyway, all right. So this is what we're doing. We're encouraging other people who promote the movement from James Gunn. Are you, by the way? You're, yeah, obviously you are. You are part of the restore the Snyderverse. You want to see more of this,
Yeah, sure.
right? So my question is, um, what do you think extra that not just the fans, but now people who are now entering the fandom, what we need to inform them about? Because a lot of people are entering now. I've even seen Marvel fans entering, and that's really amazing. And that a lot of people are joining on board with Restore the Snyderverse. What do we tell them? What are the specific things we tell them? Do you know? So this is my suggestions. My suggestions is one, um, they can contribute by including and speaking about restoring the Snyderverse in their videos or in their tweets or in their post on Facebook or wherever as a mode until we edit from today onwards. The other thing is we have another event that's going to happen, which is to release the air cut. That event is going to happen, I believe, on the 18th of April, somewhere there. So today is Easter, by the way. Happy Easter if you celebrate it or what.
Yeah,
And
I have some to that point with. We had the Easter dinner yesterday and Sunday, and
nice,
uh,
that's
yeah,
cool.
and
So
chocolate.
good, that's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I celebrate Easter in a quiet way, but so uh, this is what we're doing today, but to the next, I think tomorrow actually they're doing the release the air cut thing. I think it is. It's tomorrow. So tomorrow, which is the fifth, I think they're going to do something. There's an event. I'll post it up on my channel. And for those people who are new to this thing and are just finding about this movement and so on, to you, we're looking at focusing on trying to get a continuity of what Zack Snyder's Justice League was, because Warner Brothers, a certain faction of Warner Brothers actually, does not want that to happen in spite of all the success it's had. So we're looking at today at in about, let's see, what is it? In about a little over an hour and 22 minutes, we're going to be posting Restore the Snyderverse all over social media. But the second thing we're going to do, I believe it's tomorrow, April the 5th, is we're going to specifically speak about one piece of information, a film that has been done, completed by a director, but it never saw the light of day, even though it had an extended cut and even though it had the theatrical cut, and that is David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So the next push is for HBO Max and also AT&T to release the air cut, which is almost done. It's it was screened and everything by fans and the audience, which means a lot of the special effects are done and all the other stuff that was in it. It's just that the movie needs to go to for people to see. So that's what I say. Also, I encourage people to support some of the movies that Warner Brothers Pictures is putting out right recently. James Gunn Suicide Squad is coming out very soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be
So support it. James
yeah,
Gunn supports us, so we will support him.
yeah,
You don't
support,
have to
yeah,
go and see it more than
yeah,
once. You can go
yeah. The
see it
same,
one time.
do, yeah, do to them what they wish to do to us. That's the not
Right. I'm
not
not
the
trying to execute revenge or anything. I'm just
yeah,
if I
yeah,
see a
yeah,
movie
yeah,
that
yeah. It's not. It wasn't that. It was also in some other comic there was
yeah, and then on top of that, I would say that James Gunn, he also supports the movement. He Christopher Nolan also supports this movement. It's Syncope. You see Christopher Nolan supporting it. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Tenet, you should go see it.
yes, if I can
If
find
you
it
haven't,
somewhere. It's not if it's on
it's
HBO
not
Max, but it's not somewhere there over there. It's
it's not HBO
yeah, and
Nordic.
HBO no.
Oh wow.
I haven't seen it on Nordic yet. It no in the same way with the Godzilla vs Kong. It's also not on HBO Nordic.
No?
No,
So it's
Snyder
only the
Cut
Snyder
was,
cut
Wonder
that's
Woman 1984 was, but
all right.
Godzilla vs Kong, nope. And Same thing with Tenant.
Interesting. Well, that's interesting because it seems as though it's only DC movies were being shown. Here's the thing though. What I would suggest is okay. So okay. That's interesting.
But you
Um,
said that was something
I
about
think
Apple TV. I recently got an iPhone to replace my older uh,
right.
my
It's
Android
on
phone,
Apple TV
which just died
because I
recently.
haven't seen. I can't even get Godzilla versus Kong right now. I can't get it on Google Play. I can't. That's
Hmm.
all I have is Google Play for now, and I can't get it on Google Play either. So I don't know. That's why HBO Max needs to go globally. You know, they need to get their brand. So it's, instead of HBO Nordic and all these other things, just have HBO Max, so they can have full control. This is what Jason Keel is trying to do. And there's lots of
Hmm.
good programming on HBO Max. I can't see it. You know, I want to see
Let's see.
Lovecraft. Lovecraft looks cool.
Uh, Let
I
me
want to
see.
see
I have Apple TV. Let's I'll see if it's
nice
here. I'll see if it's here.
Godzilla
TV
vs.
Plus
Kong.
action comedy.
Look for new
Okay,
releases.
Godzilla. It's the first one, Kingdom of Monsters. Yeah,
No,
the
no,
1990,
Godzilla vs. Kong.
the 90s version. And what is this? Ah, it's a
Also, I just wanted
Japanese
to
movie.
support,
It's
I just
Japanese
wanted to
movie.
put out support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You guys should really do that. Support also Feeding America. These are the two charities that I'm aligned with Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder. So don't forget to do that. We always put that in there. So those of you who have subscriptions to HBO Max, keep your subscriptions to HBO Max. This is the way that we will get the Snyder cuts, not just the Snyder cut, but also continued continued content from the Snyderverse. All right, so I think that's basically it. This is what I have for the stream for today. It was nice having again Pick a Shades on here. If you guys have not checked out his channel, you really should check out his channel. He has some really great content, especially reviewing some of the recent DC products out there. We have a review of Supergirl, Batgirl. We have a review of Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, that
That's the
was
most recent
my latest.
review.
Yeah, that was my latest. Also, Superman
Yeah,
and Lois. I did the
Superman and
first.
Lewis. Superman and
The
Lewis,
first.
by the way, Superman and Lewis is not bad. I'm kind of digging it. I just wish I could get access to it in a much more effective way. But I saw bits and pieces of it, and it was pretty good. Where he was dealing with some other guy, a Kryptonian that wrote that they raised from the dead or something,
Nah, it was
and he was
some
trying.
alternate universe version of Lex Luthor.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, I assume that the CW had this crossover in the 2018 where they basically had some guy turning different dimensions and other things and this and that, and in one of those he made himself a black suited Superman, and then in Superman and Lois we saw that the other universe Luthor, who I have been calling Doom Guy in my videos, kind of came from this guy's world where we saw the Galaxy with the Superman killing people. I have my ongoing hypothesis is that this other Luthor is from the world where the other guy made himself Superman, an evil Superman, and the evil
okay.
Superman thinks that the main Superman is going to turn into is the other guy, but I doesn't know it's the other guy.
Okay.
That's my
Interesting. So they're trying to do a slant on Injustice Superman, sort of like they have their
not
own.
actually Injustice. I'm planning to do an Injustice video sometime in the future, and talking about the difference between that Superman being turned into the High Counselor version that he was, and how it stands against other evil Superman, or even the anti-life corrupted Superman from Batman's Nightmare in BVS.
Right, right. Which again, Cyborg saw the vision of Superman holding like a burnt corpse of looks like Louis Lane. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just go through again what we're doing today. So today, what we're going to be doing is one, we're going to be looking at the Restore the Snyderverse hashtag today. That's going to be we're trying to get it a trend past 2 million if we can on Twitter and elsewhere. we can get it up to 1 million elsewhere, that would be great. Also, support the petition online. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. You're looking for like 45 to 50,000 petitions. That's what you're looking for. That one, there's some recent ones that come up, but you're looking for that one. So you can just go Google that. And if you haven't, do that. As well as if those of you who have not subscribed to HBO Max, you should subscribe to HBO Max if you like the Snyder Cut and if you can get HBO Max where you live. The other thing is sharing, promoting Zack Snyder's Justice League and AFSP, as well as Feeding America, the charities, because Zack is still raising money for that. And also to encourage and support anyone who supports this movement. So anybody say anything positive about it, support them. Yeah, so this is what we're going to do. And this is what this whole entire stream was about. It was nice speaking with you, Pick of Shades. Anything you want to tell everybody? Yeah, definitely a serious story writer. If you guys don't know, Pick of Shades, he does crossover universes of different characters from different pop culture things.
Yeah, that was. I have an unfinished project that I should write an epilogue to one of these days. That's been on a hiatus for almost over a year, while I have been focusing on YouTube stuff.
All right, and also check out his YouTube channel. It's been really great. He has some good music. I like some of the songs that you pick and select to put with the video presentations, and he's really well researched. So when he brings out a video and he talks about a review of a story, I love that you tell the story and you go into the details of the story and why there was these pros and cons to it. That's the way our real reviewers should do things. So yeah, let's Pick a Shades. You can catch him on Pick a Shades. Let me just get your name there. Hold on a second. Whoop. Nope. That's all. Yes, Pick a Shade. See his name there? That's his name right there. You go to his channel, just type in Pick a Shades, and you will find him on YouTube. Check out his videos, it's really cool. And I am Christ, I am disciple. Generally, I leave a piece of scripture with you guys. I'm just going to leave this one. It says, may his peace be with you, and may his light shine upon you. All right? And as Pick a Shades would say, I'll finish it with that. Let your heart be your guide. I will catch you guys later. I am Christ, I am disciple. Peace.
And may your heart be your guiding key.
Amen.